welcome back to what we're just going to call Season 2 of Lap of the World. So we got back from the Corvette Museum in the fall, and then some holidays happened, and then...
Well, some travel happened too. We both ended up in Vancouver for a while. I ended up in San Francisco several times for work.
Yep, and then it was January, and I decided to die of the flu for a couple of weeks.
Luckily, I was out of town for that.
Yeah, luckily.
So now here we are on a lovely Friday afternoon. It's actually very nice out, nice and sunny for once. Headed down to Daytona for the 2019 Rolex 24.
We are actually headed down thanks to some kind folks with the NSX Club of America and Acura. We are headed down and going to be part of the Acura car corral for the event, which means we get some primo parking and nice tickets for next to nothing. So thanks a whole lot. This,
yeah,
we're
it's very exciting. The fact that we're able to go down there by invitation from Acura, I think it just is another, point as to why we enjoy being part of the Acura community so much and the NSX Club.
Yeah, you get an email from your, former Southeast Regional representative. It's not even his job to organize stuff anymore, but he does. So, it's just what people do in this community for the most part, and it's great. Having gone out of his way to organize everything, and then get us in touch with Acura and get everything planned out, and have a few even extracurriculars. Unfortunately, we couldn't get away from work on Thursday, and then to head down for some of the stuff that's happening today. But I'm sure the people that are down there are already having fun with that. But we're gonna hopefully meet them for some dinner. I've rambled enough now, I think, this morning. So
I think we're gonna get back to driving. We've got just about 9 hours to go.
Yeah, we're kind of at the mercy of Atlanta traffic at this point, whether we're going to make it in time for dinner. We hopefully have timed this right, where we're going to get there, after morning rush, but before the lunch rush. I have no confidence whatsoever of getting through Atlanta without some kind of, traffic snarl happening, because Atlanta. But
it's okay. It's vacation. And the event we're coming for is tomorrow, and if we make it for dinner tonight, great. If not, we will see everybody tomorrow morning at Cars and Coffee.
Yep, for sure. Okay, well, we made it to the restaurant. We're a bit behind schedule, though. We hit some traffic, actually north of Atlanta. Atlanta had nothing to do with it. Atlanta was easy. I never thought I would say that, but Atlanta was easy. But we hit in about an hour and a half for construction north of Atlanta, or between Chattanooga and Atlanta, and that then put us into rush hour once we got down to Jacksonville. So we got hosed. So we're here an hour late. Fortunately, it looks like some people are still here, at least a few of them. So we're gonna go try and catch up with them before we get back to the hotel and get our credentials for tomorrow and stuff like that. So apologize if you cannot see me at all right now. Liz is over here holding up cell phones for lighting. So we are gonna be done looking like goons in a parking lot here, talking to a camera, and get inside and get some food. So we'll pick you guys up probably in the morning. Well, good morning from the Chateau Mar Beach Resort at Ormond Beach in Florida. We are up and about to head to the track. We got some great weather this morning, it looks like. I think they were calling for 50s and 60s today with very little chance of rain. So hopefully that holds out, but just so you can see what we're seeing for a second. But what we're seeing for a second. Woo! Selfie! Alright. Well, we gotta head to the track to make cars and coffee. I think we're already a little bit behind, but we want some donuts, so let's get going. Okay, so we made it to Cars and Coffee this morning, which is just a little Acura Corral here. See a bunch of NSXs and a gaggle of TL Type S's and a random Corvette that's lost, but you know, these things happen. So, so we've had some breakfast and no coffee as yet, but we'll get to that. As it is right now, there's not a. We're told that we should visit the Mazda booth back there because they're doing a little bit of a ride and drive experience, and there's no line right now. So we're gonna go check a car around. I'm gonna make Liz check a car around, and we'll see how that happens. Also, thanks to Acura for the nice hats. Liz realized she'd forgotten a hat this morning, but no problem. But anyway, we'll head over to Mazda. This should be fun.
Yes, sir. Whenever you're ready, sweetie. Here's where you stay to the right. There you go. And back to the right.
It's nice and neutral. Tried to make it understeer there a little bit. Didn't want to.
It's
All right, it's a pit road this time.
yeah, this time to the left and down pit road. Yeah, these, I always say and you said you've experienced also, for a course like that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for a course like this or autocross course, everything, I mean, these are almost built for that.
Well, that was fun. So we both just got done autocrossing Miata, or Miatas, or whatever the plural of that actually is. I drove the ragtop, and Liz got to hoon around in the RF with the removable hardtop a little bit. That was fun. What did you think of it?
It was actually a lot of fun. I didn't grandma around as much as I was expecting to. So
Just for the record, this is Liz's first actual attempt at autocrossing something, so kudos for her to jumping in on the spot.
well, it was a little, cheap mode because it was an automatic. So
Yeah, so all the cars were automatic, and they had traction control on and stuff like that that happens for press events. But I was actually impressed because putting it in auto mode and being able to just click it into second gear, it was crisper than I anticipated it being. I think the last Miata that I drove, I don't think I've ever driven a Miata in anger. The last one I drove.
You're angry? Do we need to get coffee? No.
Yes, angry driving. But now the last one I drove on the
breathalyzers for it though.
This is true.
Yeah.
But the last one I drove on the street was probably a 90s edition with some slush box in it, and it was terrible. But this one had the little sport auto thing, which gives you some paddle control over your automatic gearbox if you want it. And that was better, and it was, honestly, it was very neutral handling, and this is a bunch of stuff that if you own a Miata, you already know, and you're like, yeah, duh, Richard, but,
But we got a fancy Miata wristband out of it, and a keychain.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mazda's doing it up right here, so
Miata keychain,
Mazda keychain, yeah, they're doing it up right here, though, so, I appreciate the hospitality, Mazda.
Yeah.
But we're going to pop back over to our home base here, or maybe take a little sightseeing tour around some of the other car corrals, because I think they have, Porsche and Lamborghini and Ferrari all have car corrals, so I don't know if they have much swag, but
but let's get going.
Probably some interesting stuff to look at, so that's probably coming next. Well, that was pretty interesting. We just got through with a tour of the Michael Shank Racing garages over here with their NSX GT3 cars, which you can see probably behind us a bit.
Unfortunately, we missed Michael Shank because he had to do his portion of it a little early because, you know, he had something to do today. Like,
yeah, I don't know, win a 24-hour race, you know. But no, it was really cool. We got to kind of mess around the garage until they got out the fuel jugs and flammable stuff, and then we were had to vacate so they could take care of some business. But no, it was really interesting. I think that's, you know, getting inside a real live race garage is it's pretty cool to see how both organized and hectic it is at the same time. So that's pretty cool. But I think we're gonna go try and find some place to
get some coffee.
Yeah, probably get some coffee and then see if we can scout out some places to watch the start from. It's still probably, it's like 11:30 right now, and the race doesn't start until 2:30. So we may make it over to the vendor midway, and there's like a carnival set up. It's basically a gigantic party in the middle of which a race happens. So should be fun. We'll catch up to you guys in a few minutes. Over the race that's happening. They hit a caution period right now, so we decided to take the opportunity to come back into the infield and check in.
That's why it's so quiet, because there's a caution.
Yeah. Do you hear that? You can always tell when it's a Corvette or a Cadillac DPI because of the huge V8s. But so since we last talked to you, we've went over and checked out the Acura booth in the infield. Took a little survey and got some free stuff. We grabbed a bite to eat from one of the infield food trucks, and then we went up to the grandstands with the rest of the NSX crowd to watch the start of the race. That was really pretty exciting. I think the first 10 laps were a real shootout. At some point, the two Acura DPIs overtook the Mazdas and were 1-2 for a little bit. I don't know what happened to the second Acura DPI. That's kind of since we're not watching it on TV, we don't have the commentary to know what happened, but I don't know that I'm complaining too much. So what do you think so far?
No, it's been a ton of fun, and it's actually really cool to get to watch it. We watched it on TV a bunch, so it's really neat to actually watch it in person. But I agree, I am missing the commentary a little bit because there were times that I wasn't sure what everybody was excited about something and I didn't see it.
Yeah, I think we missed the boat on bringing the radio and headphones to listen to the commentary while we watch the race.
Next time.
Next time. Anyway, we are going to walk in the road for a second and then find our way to grabbing a snack and maybe check out some of the, there's like a carnival area they have set up as well as kind of a vendor midway.
So maybe we'll check in from the Ferris wheel.
Alright, so as promised, an update from the Ferris wheel. Hopefully you can hear us.
So, we ventured out of the track shortly for dinner and to stop by the store for a little supplemental warmth. So, however, the store was out of all adult sizes for gloves and hats. So I've got a child's hat.
And show her, yeah, you gotta show her gloves.
gloves.
That's right.
So,
That's how we do things.
but we are warmer now, and we're here, and it's night, and the race is still exciting.
Yeah, the race has been going on for a number of hours at this point. It's still really close. Lots of cars still in the lead lap. So it's pretty exciting to watch. We're just kind of taking a break to get a little bit of a different perspective on things from higher up.
Which is very cool and highly recommended.
Yeah, highly recommended. But anyway, we'll let you go. So we'll quit making people think we're crazy here. We'll check back in from the ground. Again.
We made it.
We made it halfway. It is about 2:40 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, and it just now ticked past halfway in the race.
That's officially 12 hours of racing that we've watched.
Yes, we have watched or been in the middle of about 12 hours of racing. And they are still going hammer and tongs. It is, you know, I think that's true of most endurance races these days. They've just become a 24-hour sprint. But yeah, for the last probably 6 hours, the Acuras and the Cadillacs have been trading some combination of first through fourth. It's been really exciting to watch the DPIs, and then there are some good battles in some of the GT classes as well. But they're still going. They get to change drivers.
We're officially losing our voices.
Yeah, we can't change brains. I don't have anybody I can like sub in here. So.
Well, we could have taken turns all day. You could have left. I could have moved and back and forth, right?
Yeah. See, we need to be taking notes for next time, right?
Yeah.
But so we're probably gonna call it a night for now, and then we're gonna see what the weather looks like tomorrow. Unfortunately, right now it looks like it's gonna rain a lot.
Well, there's only 100% chance of rain tomorrow, so.
And it was like 2 inches, and they were calling for 2 inches or so, which is not an insignificant amount of rain either.
I'm not sure an umbrella is really going to help us in that.
Yeah, so we were going to do a see how we feel. So we'll either show up to the track and with an umbrella, or we will, you know, stream it from the room on the beach. But
that doesn't sound so bad either.
No, I think it's it's been a hell of a day, and I think I don't feel like I'm missing any of the experience at this point. So.
Yeah, it would be unfortunate not to get to come back tomorrow. However, also being here in the cold, wind, and rain might ruin the experience a little.
Yeah, I think I would almost prefer to leave it on a high note. So
I think 2:45 in the morning, almost 3 a.m. is a high note.
It is.
With our Pokemon gloves and
right. But anyhow, we're gonna head back to the car, head back to the hotel, and probably just face plant in the bed and fall asleep. And then you will find out shortly thereafter in this video. We won't know until tomorrow morning, but you'll know nearly immediately whether we made it back to the track or whether the next thing we're filming is from the car. So either way,
thanks for watching.
It's been a great day. Thanks for watching. If we don't do anything further, and I highly recommend it as an experience.
Okay. Well, good morning. Well, or, afternoon.
Yeah.
Actually.
Technically afternoon.
Yeah. And we are now coming back to you from our hotel, not at the track.
Yeah. As you can no doubt tell, we are back at the Chateau Mar Beach Resort, and not Daytona International Speedway. Yes, this is our current view of the race. I would say in progress, but it's actually just been red flagged for the second time. Ongoing.
Too much standing water on the track is, I think, what they said. That the conditions had worsened so much that there was so much standing water on the track they stopped it.
Yeah, it's become pretty torrential. Liz went outside earlier and filmed this, braving the little balcony of our motel here. And
it was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, apart from being entertaining, it was entertaining for a few minutes. However, I'm not sure how committed I would be to standing out in it, especially if there's no actual racing happening at this point.
It was definitely entertaining to be able to walk outside, film it, and then come back into the warm hotel room versus trying to stand out in it.
Yeah. So, are we wusses? Probably. Are we warm and dry, though? Yes. So that took precedence in this case. But like I said, I think that was kind of our... we planned for that. Like I said, we stayed at the track until what ended up being about 3:30 a.m. Got back here at 4, slept until like 11, and then got up and turned the TV on. Ordered some food in and watched what was an entertaining period of time bouncing back and forth between yellow and green flag, where the lead changed a couple times. So that was at least cool to see. But that kind of brings up another point that we had talked about on the way home last night, which is the difference between watching the race in person, this kind of race in particular in person, and watching the broadcast.
Yeah, I think for me, it was actually really hard to leave the track last night. Part of me wanted to just stay until it started raining and then come back here and pass out. Because it was really entertaining. I feel like you're way more invested when you're there in person, and I felt a little bit like we were going to come back here and miss out on something. Just because when you're there, there's so much going on, there's so many things happening, and you feel like you're part of it.
Yeah, and I mean, to that point, we kind of did. Like, once it started raining, all hell broke loose, and there were all kinds of position changes happening, and some cars that were competitive aren't so much anymore, and other cars are, backwards and upside down. And nobody was upside down, thankfully, but backwards and in the
like
wall
anybody's been hurt
and on the grass, and but so we did miss some stuff. However, in the scheme of things,
well, technically we didn't miss any cars going out.
That's true.
The 2 cars that are out were out well before we left the track last night.
Yes, all of up until probably the Ferrari that just ran into the back of the Porsche.
Well, yeah.
All the cars, as far as when we picked up watching it again this morning, all the cars that were retired or completely out of the race.
Just 2.
I thought it was 3.
Nope, 2.
Okay.
That was 77 and 99.
Yeah, so those cars actually had already gone out. One of them with an engine fire, the other one, I think, with crashed out. Oh, no, the other one blew its engine.
Yeah.
Last night while we were at the track. And that was a little bit... you know, it was kind of funny because it took us a little while to realize what had happened to the 77 Mazda. Mainly because when you're at the track, kind of the, you know, the detriment of being there is unless you have a way of hearing the broadcast. So we saw a bunch of people walking around with radios and earbuds, and I was like, that's probably the way to do it because they can hear the race commentators who have, you know, a production room full of people pointing stuff out to them as far as what's going on around the track at any given time, and all the data set right in front of them in the media center, where you don't get that when you're there in person unless you're planning for it. But if you're also like there with a group and trying to talk to people, it's kind of weird to be walking around with headsets and stuff
even if
like
you're
that.
not trying to talk to people, I mean, I think that does bring up the only con I would see of being there in person, other than watching it on TV, is the fact that there are sometimes, like for example, the 99 Porsche that hit the wall, and then we didn't even know it had. We were there in the stands when it happened, and it wasn't until we walked out into the main part of the grandstands, underneath the inside of the grandstands, where they had TVs and you could actually hear the announcers. I mean, the announcers are playing outside, but you can't actually hear them because it's so loud. It wasn't until then that we realized that it hit the wall, and then it had the engine blew and it sprayed oil all over the track, and not sprayed oil, but
dump some oil on the track.
Dumped oil on the track. But that's the stuff that we couldn't see being there at the track.
Yeah, and this is even Daytona that we're talking about, which is a giant oval. You know, it's I guess most famous use is a NASCAR oval. So really, you can see, more so than a lot of road courses, you can see most of the circuit at any given time, but you still can't see everything. And so if you're sitting in the main grandstands, if something happens in the bus stop, for instance, you have no idea until you see the yellow flashers come on and start watching the emergency vehicles pulling out of that particular siding or whatever.
Yeah, there were several times last night that something happened and I was like, wait, there's flashing lights happening. What is that? I can't tell what's even there. And we had no idea if a car was off or anything. So
yeah, but that was interesting. I think on balance,
but would I trade it?
Yeah.
No, it was totally worth being there in person.
Like, would you trade it? No, you wouldn't trade it off.
No, I think we would do more like one of the guys that was with us went ahead and streamed the IMSA app. Streamed on the IMSA app. And so they could actually get on and see what was happening, and that was helpful. Yeah,
we were following the timing and scoring, but we didn't have the video feed running for a whole lot of time because we were kind of, we were talking to each other, talking to other people, moving around, taking pictures, taking video.
Looking like crazy people.
Yeah, looking like crazy people talking to a camera on a Ferris wheel.
It's okay. The couple that was there on the Ferris wheel with us were very understanding.
They seemed entertained, so
they applauded for us when we were done.
Right. I think it's been a great experience. I wouldn't trade going to the track for that at all. If it happens next year the same way, I'd be totally down to come and try doing it again.
Absolutely. Maybe next year we'll bring some more stuff.
Yeah, crossing fingers for better weather. Maybe bringing some, bringing some earbuds so you can actually, listen to the commentary when you're not with a group of people would be pretty useful.
Yeah.
That short of parking an RV with a tent on top of it in the infield, I think we have a decent plan that's not ridiculous and cost prohibitive to go forward with. But.
No, I agree. And I actually, as much as camping there would have been great, I think today it would have sucked no matter what because the rain and stuff started at 4 a.m.
Yeah, at the very least, you're having to pack stuff up in the rain and put a bunch of wet, potentially muddy camping gear in whatever vehicle you brought, which is...
but I was going to say, realistically, like, I don't mind this setup either. Like, staying there as late as we could. We could have stayed a little bit later, but the rain started at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So, staying as late as we can until the weather turned, and then coming back here, sleeping, and getting to order food in and watch it. Would I like to be at the track? Yeah. We consider going back to the track. Yeah. But
again, like, I think doing this schedule with even perfect weather is not necessarily a bad thing, because then you see a lot of the night racing. You get some sleep, you get up in the morning, you go back and you watch the end of the race, and you're kind of
I think the night
fresh
racing
and able
is
to
very
enjoy
exciting. The night racing is, I don't think video does it justice, just how pretty and amazing it is to watch at night.
Oh yeah, it's a riot of noise and color
Yeah.
is what it is. It is, you know, this is the first time that I've seen legit professional racing of this caliber at night. You know, I've done Lemons and Chump Car, and you have some crazy colors and themes and all that stuff that goes on, but it's definitely different when it's actually like a really, you know, a huge pack of legitimately high-strung, not Craigslist engines, you know, flying around that all have their own, you know, Tron-looking, you know,
and
light
even,
pipes and stuff.
Even just the brake rotors are glowing, and they look like they have orange neon on those. Like, everything is very cool to watch.
Yeah. No, it's a ton of fun, but anyway,
So I think if I had to do it again, if the weather hadn't turned, I would do the same thing. I would stay as late as we possibly could at the track,
Yeah.
sleep the early morning away, and then go back to the track for the end of the race.
Yeah, I think that was, yeah, I don't regret that part of the plan outside of the weather, but I also think we're rambling a little bit at this point. So
People enjoy us rambling.
they enjoy us rambling?
No, they don't.
Do you enjoy us rambling?
Hang
You probably
on.
don't enjoy us rambling.
Hang on, I have to answer this.
So I don't know if people enjoy us rambling or not. Let us know in the comments below if you enjoy us rambling.
I don't think people actually enjoy us rambling. However, I think some of our commentary was useful, but our food order is going to be here shortly.
Yeah, so we are going to wrap it up. That is exactly how lazy it's gotten. We ordered food in, so
Well, we're going to venture out later.
yeah,
We'll venture out later.
We'll get out later and maybe record some weather shenanigans. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not.
We'll record some weather shenanigans. I'll make sure.
Okay. Outtakes. Until then, I'm Richard.
And I'm Liz.
This is Lap of the World. We'll see you in the next video, if not at the track. So we've got, yeah, like you were saying earlier, we have some really terrible conditions. I don't know if you can hear me over the wind, so I'm talking into my phone. It's probably at least a 40-mile-an-hour wind down here at the beach, and we're really struggling to stay upright.